Welcome to PC Perspective. I'm Ryan Shrout. Today we're going to take a quick look at the brand new Lenovo Yoga 2 Ultrabook. If you are familiar with the site, you notice that we're big fans of the original Yoga. This is an Ultrabook design from Lenovo that was unique in that it was a traditional laptop configuration. You could turn it into a tent mode, you could use it as a stand mode, or you could flip it all the way over into tablet mode. And they have slowly iterated on this process with smaller versions, one that used the Tegra processor, and now they're actually upgrading the hardware again this year in the form of the Yoga 2 Pro. And we have one in here, and we figured we'd give you a quick overview of what it is, what it looks like, and how it compares to the previous versions before our full review comes out. So here's the box for it, nothing really fancy there. I will say that there are several models available for this, and depending on if you want to shop at Best Buy or some other place online, we'll talk about the differences that you get with each of those models. So here's the actual notebook inside its little sleeve. And upon removal, one of the first things I noticed upon holding it is that it has a tapered edge now. It might be a little bit harder to see, but you can see that it's not the same thickness, or it doesn't appear to be the same thickness at this end as it is at this end. If you kind of base it more on the mid-gray here before the tapered edge, it's actually pretty close to the same all the way across. But comparing it to, on top here, we have the last year's Yoga 13. That it's clearly, this is a little bit thinner device. It's a little bit lighter. I think the spec is 0.67 pounds versus 0.61 pounds, so it's pretty close either way. If we do a quick walk around the outside, we have our power connection, a USB 3.0 port, a micro HDMI connection. A little bit disappointing not to see a full-size HDMI there, but you know, you can get adapters for that fairly easily. You've got a memory card reader, nothing else along there, nothing along the front. On this side, you've got the power button. You have a no rotate button, and you've got your volume rocker, headphone, and mic output, or headphone output, mic input, and then another USB, a powered USB port that will actually charge devices when the system is off. Noteworthy here is the power button located on the side. On the previous Yoga, the power button was located on the front, which apparently caused some issues for people accidentally putting their laptops to sleep or accidentally turning them off when they didn't mean to, either by pushing them into their stomach, or if they had it on a airplane or something like that, causing an issue there. The venting is all along the bottom here, not much in the area of venting, and the bottom is void. You're not going to void of anything, I guess I should say. It doesn't have easily replaceable hard drives or any other components that way. Now, the big change for this unit is that it's Haswell based. This is a Core i5-4200U processor with Intel HD 4400 graphics. So you're going to get better performance, better battery life than what we had with the Haswell model. Before I open it up, we'll go ahead and, I mean, there's not really much in this box. You've got some of your documentation here, but not much to really write home with there. The charger is interesting. It's a very light and small charger. It kind of has its own custom power cable, and you can see the connection there is frequently used by other Lenovo devices. And inside here, you've got the actual power cable itself. A lot of times the samples we get aren't full retail collaborations or full retail collections of hardware, but this is the important part right here, is the actual device itself. So let's go ahead and open it up, and we'll see some of the other interesting, unique features for this particular Ultrabook. It's an Ultrabook in name, so it's going to have all those specific features. Now, one thing that's going to be almost impossible to show you on our capture, but is by far the most impressive part of this tablet, is the screen of this Ultrabook, is its screen. It is a 3200 by 1800 resolution screen, 13.3 inch, but 3200 by 1800, so it's going to have super high pixel density. It's got Windows 8.1 on it, so you know it's going to behave a little bit better than Windows 8 did with those high resolution displays, high pixel density displays. Otherwise, I mean, software is very similar to what we had on the previous Yoga designs as Windows 8.1, so you get the improvements and enhancements with that, which means you get a start button, if that excites you for some reason. And then anything you do in terms of, you know, visiting websites is going to look great. Text is going to look awesome on this display, and browsing through the web so far in our quick use of this has been pretty awesome. Now, lots of notebooks are out there. Lots of Ultrabooks have Haswell processors in them now. One of the things that makes the Yoga unique, in this case the Yoga 2 Pro, is it now has a backlit keyboard, which is actually really nice. Let's see if we can show you kind of there's the keyboard unilluminated, and there it is illuminated. It's actually more handy than people might realize. I use it quite a bit, either when I'm sitting on the couch watching TV, or traveling, or riding in a car or something like that. The backlit keyboard is really nice to have. The big change for the Yoga 2 Pro over other Ultrabooks is, of course, the 4 different modes that it can be in. So here you kind of see its standard notebook form, right? You've got your keyboard and display as you would normally have it. You can put it into stand mode, which you rotate it so that the keyboard is on the bottom. Now when you do that, it disables the keyboard, and in this iteration, the keyboard actually sits lower than the bezel around the side of it, just a tiny bit, so that you don't have to worry about getting stuff on your keyboard while you're using it in this mode. This is kind of the stand mode is used for maybe you're watching a movie on a plane, or just kind of consuming media and you want to use it as a touch device. The other way you can use it in this format is in tent mode. And this is kind of as it says, you create like a tent shape. And with it, you can also use this for media consumption, or you can use this for watching videos or just browsing the web. Handy for tight constrained areas. One change they did have with the Yoga 2 Pro was there's kind of like a rubber edge around the screen now, which makes it more stable on slick surfaces. So you don't have to worry about it jostling around either forward or backwards, or moving back and forth. It takes a little bit more effort for something like that to happen. What you can't do in this mode, at least not very well, that you can do in stand mode is like Skype calls and video calls and that kind of thing, because the camera, the front-facing camera, is up top. And then finally you've got tablet mode, which is when you fold it all the way back. And now you can use it as a tablet device, and anything that you would normally do with Windows in that area is capable. And again, it disables the keyboard when it's in that mode too, which is obviously a necessary touch. There are some custom Lenovo apps on this. They have a app that is supposed to work with you when you're in the kitchen called, I forget what's called, Chef something or other. And it's a response to voice commands, or you can use hand control and things like that. That I haven't really had a whole bunch of time to test with yet, but we'll play around with it when it comes time to the full review. But I will say my first impressions of the device after getting it out of the box and just kind of using it over the morning is that it's thinner, it's lighter, it's going to be faster thanks to the Haswell processor. Graphics is not going to be great, but it's going to be a little bit better than what we had on the previous Yoga. And 128 gig SSD included. This one has 4 gigs of memory. And it starts at $9.99. You can buy that at bestbuy.com or at lenovo.com for $9.99. Best Buy does have an interesting option that I think is exclusive to them, at least for now, where you double your SSD capacity up to 256 gigs and it doubles the memory to 8 gigs. And you get a slightly better processor. This one clocks up to 2.6 in turbo. The other model actually clocks up to 3 gigahertz, and it's $11.99. So for only $200 more, you get twice the memory, twice the SSD capacity, and a little bit faster processor. But everything else remains the same. I'm actually looking forward to spending some time with this machine, seeing if I can replace my beloved Lenovo X230 with something with a slightly larger screen. It has a lot of the features now that I need to have on my laptop when I'm traveling and working. So if this is the kind of machine that you're looking forward to, I have been pretty impressed so far. And the unique functionality of the device, I think, makes it stand out from a lot of the Me Too Ultrabooks that you see out in the market. So $9.99, we'll have a full review on this coming up later in the month. So keep checking back at pcper.com if you're interested in that. Thanks, guys.